Hello everyone. How are you all, my dear students? I hope you all are fine and enjoying your studies well. So, my dear students, as you all know, we are doing reading of English lesson number 9, Uncle Ken at the Wheel. I hope you all are doing your reading well. So, my dear students, today we will complete the leftover part of reading. But before completing the leftover part, we will read lesson from the first page, from the first paragraph. Okay, so today we will complete reading of whole lesson, reading of full lesson. So, if any student missed previous video, they can connect with today's video, they can connect with today's reading. Okay, and till today we have completed reading in parts, and today we will complete the whole lesson, reading of whole lesson, reading of full lesson. Okay, so be here only. Let's begin our reading with a quote. Let's see. Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground means aim high but never be proudy person. Okay. So let's see. This is the image of your textbook. This is the image of your textbook, lesson number 9, Uncle Ken at the wheel. Uncle Ken at the wheel. So let's see. Warm up. Who is your favorite relative? Tell the class why you like him or her. Is this relative funny, intelligent, or kind? Now, students, those who didn't message me about their favorite relative, today is the last day for them to message me about their relatives. Okay, so let's begin with reading session. Now, till previous video what we were doing, I was reading twice, I was reading two times, and afterwards at the third time it was students' turn to read. Right? But today I will read all the words, each word I will read two times, and you all are going to read with me. Okay? Because already we have completed most of the reading part of this lesson, only a few paragraphs are left, so you all know the pronunciations of the words. So today you all are going to read with me, exactly with me. Okay, let's see. The narrator, Ruskin, has a lot of fun memories of Uncle Ken. The narrator, Ruskin, has a lot of fun memories of Uncle Ken. Whenever he visits his grandmother, whenever he visits his grandmother, he usually finds Uncle Ken there. He usually finds Uncle Ken there. Together, they have a lot of adventure. Together, they have a lot of adventure. Read this story about one such adventure. Read this story about one such adventure. On my next visit to Dehra, on my next visit to Dehra, Mohan met me at the station. Mohan met me at the station. We got into a tonga with my luggage. We got into a tonga with my luggage and we went rattling and jingling along Dehra's quiet roads to Granny's house, and we went rattling and jingling along Dehra's quiet roads to Granny's house. Let's read the next paragraph. Tell me all the news, Mohan. Tell me all the news, Mohan. Not much to tell, not much to tell. Some of the sahibs are selling their houses and going away. Some of the sahibs are selling their houses and going away. Susie has had kittens. Susie has had kittens. Granny knew I had been in the train for 2 nights. Granny knew I had been in the train for 2 nights, and she had a huge breakfast ready for me. And she had a huge breakfast ready for me. Porridge, scrambled eggs on toast, meat with fried tomatoes, toast and marmalade, and sweet milky tea. Porridge, scrambled eggs on toast, meat with fried tomatoes, toast and marmalade, and sweet milky tea. She told me there had been a letter from Uncle Ken. She told me there had been letter from Uncle Ken. Let's see the next one. He says he is the assistant manager at Firpo's Hotel in Shimla. She said, he says he is the assistant manager at Firpo's Hotel in Shimla. She said, the salary is very good. The salary is very good, and he gets free board and lodging. And he gets free board and lodging. It's a steady job, and I hope he keeps it. It's a steady job, and I hope he keeps it. 3 days later, 3 days later, Uncle Ken was on the veranda steps with his bedding roll and battered suitcase. 3 days later, Uncle Ken was on the veranda steps with his bedding roll and battered suitcase. Now let's read the meanings. Rattling means here the sound made by a moving tonga. Rattling means here in the lesson the sound made by a moving tonga. Board and lodging means meals and a room. Board and lodging means meals and a room. Steady means reliable and continuing for a long time. Steady means reliable and continuing for a long time. Battered means old and slightly damaged. Battered means old and slightly damaged. Now let's see the next paragraph. Have you given up the hotel job? Asked Granny. Have you given up the hotel job? Asked Granny. No, said Uncle Ken. No, said Uncle Ken. They have closed down. They have closed down. I hope it wasn't because of you. I hope it wasn't because of you. No, Aunt Ellen. No, Aunt Ellen. The bigger hotels in the hill stations are all closing down. The bigger hotels in the hill stations are all closing down. Well, never mind. Well, never mind. Come along and have your tiffin. Come along and have your tiffin. There is kofta curry today. There is kofta curry today. It's Ruskin's favorite. It's Ruskin's favorite. Let's see the next one. Oh, is he here too? Oh, is he here too? I have far too many nephews and nieces. I have far too many nephews and nieces. Still, he is preferable to those two girls of Mabel's. Still, he is preferable to those two girls of Mabel's. They made life miserable for me all the time I was with them in Shimla. They made life miserable for me all the time I was with them in Shimla. Over tiffin, as lunch was called in those days, Uncle Ken talked very seriously about ways and means of earning a living. Over tiffin, as lunch was called in those days, Uncle Ken talked very seriously about ways and means of earning a living. Now let's see the next one. There is only one taxi in the whole of Dehra, he mused. There is only one taxi in the whole of Dehra, he mused. Surely there is business for another. Surely there is business for another. I'm sure there is, said Granny. I'm sure there is, said Granny. But where does it get you? But where does it get you? In the first place, you don't have a taxi. In the first place, you don't have a taxi. And in the second place, you can't drive. And in the second place, you can't drive. Now let's see the meaning. Mused means said in a way that showed deep thought. Mused means said in a way that showed deep thought. Now, next paragraph. This is the image of your textbook. Granny, Ruskin, and Uncle Ken are having lunch. Right? Let's see the next one. I can soon learn. I can soon learn. There is a driving school in town. There is a driving school in town. And I can use Uncle's old car. And I can use Uncle's old car. It's been gathering dust in the garage for years. It's been gathering dust in the garage for years. He was referring to grandfather's vintage Hillman roadster. He was referring to grandfather's vintage Hillman roadster. It was a 1926 model, about 20 years old. It was a 1926 model, about 20 years old. I don't think it will run now, said Granny. I don't think it will run now, said Granny. Of course it will. Of course it will. It just needs some oiling and greasing and a spot of paint. It just needs some oiling and greasing and a spot of paint. Now, let's see the next one. All right, learn to drive. All right, learn to drive. Then we will see about the roadster. Then we will see about the roadster. So, Uncle can join the driving school. So, Uncle can join the driving school. He was very regular. He was very regular going for his lessons for an hour in the evening. Going for his lessons for an hour in the evening. Granny paid the fee. Granny paid the fee. After a month, Uncle Ken announced that he could drive and that he was taking the roadster out for a trial run. After a month, Uncle Ken announced that he could drive and that he was taking the roadster out for a trial run. You haven't got your license yet, said Granny. You haven't got your license yet, said Granny. Oh, I won't take her far, said Uncle Ken. Oh, I won't take her far, said Uncle Ken. Just down the road and back again. Just down the road and back again. He spent all morning cleaning up the car. He spent all morning cleaning up the car. Granny gave him money for a can of petrol. Granny gave him money for a can of petrol. Let's see the next. After tea, Uncle Ken said, come along, Ruskin, hop in and I will give you a ride. Come along, Ruskin, Hop in and I will give you a ride. Bring Mohan along too. Bring Mohan along too. Mohan and I needed no urging. Mohan and I needed no urging. We got into the car beside Uncle Ken. We got into the car beside Uncle Ken. Now, don't go too fast, Ken, said Granny. Now, don't go too fast, Ken, said Granny. You are not used to the car as yet. You are not used to the car as yet. Uncle Ken nodded and smiled and gave two sharp toots on the horn. Uncle Ken nodded and smiled and gave two sharp toots on the horn. He was feeling pleased with himself. He was feeling pleased with himself. Now, let's see the next one. Driving through the gate, he nearly ran over Crazy, our dog. He nearly ran over Crazy, our dog. Miss Kellner, coming out for her evening rickshaw ride, Miss Kellner, coming out for her evening rickshaw ride, saw Uncle Ken at the wheel of the roadster and went indoors again. Saw Uncle Ken at the wheel of the roadster and went indoors again. Uncle Ken drove straight and fast. Uncle Ken drove straight and fast, tootling the horn without a break. Tootling the horn without a break. At the end of the road, there was a roundabout. At the end of the road, there was a roundabout. Now let's read the meanings. Vintage means here car. An old car, especially one that was built between 1919 and 1930. Urging means constant requesting. Toot, the sound that the horn of a vehicle makes. Tootling, making a series of sounds by honking. Now let's read the next paragraph. See, this is the image which is given in your textbook. Now let's see. We will turn here, said Uncle Ken, and then drive back again. We will turn here, said Uncle Ken, and then drive back again. He turned the steering wheel. We began going round the roundabout. But the steering wheel wouldn't turn all the way. Not as much as Uncle Ken would have liked it to. So, instead of going round, we took a right turn and kept going. Straight on and straight through the Maharaja of Jaipur's garden wall. through the Maharaja of Jaipur's garden wall. Now, from here, this is the leftover part. Okay, so let's see what happens after that. It was a single brick wall. It was a single brick wall, and the roadster knocked it down and emerged on the other side without any damage to the car or any of its occupants. And the roadster knocked it down and emerged on the other side without any damage to the car or any of its occupants. Uncle Ken brought it to a halt in the middle of the Maharaja's lawn. Uncle Ken brought it to a halt in the middle of the Maharaja's lawn. Running across the grass came the Maharaja himself. Running across the grass came the Maharaja himself, flanked by his secretaries and their assistants. Flanked by his secretaries and their assistants. When he saw that it was Uncle Ken at the wheel, the Maharaja beamed with pleasure. When he saw that it was Uncle Ken at the wheel, the Maharaja beamed with pleasure. "Delighted to see you, old chap," he exclaimed. "Delighted to see you, old chap," he exclaimed. "Jolly decent of you to drop in again. Jolly decent of you to drop in again. How about a game of tennis? How about a game of tennis?" Now, narrated by Ruskin Bond. Written by Ruskin Bond. Let's read the meaning. Flanked means on each or one side of the Maharaja. Flanked means on each or one side of the Maharaja. And beamed means smiled happily. Beamed means smiled happily. So, my dear students, let's read about the author. About the author Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond is a popular Indian author born in 1934 in Kausuli. He has spent most of his life in the Himalayas. He wrote his first novel, The Room on the Roof, when he was only 17. Till date, he has written over 30 novels for children and more than 300 short stories. He was awarded the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1992, the Padma Shri in 1999, and the Padma Bhushan in 2014 for his contribution to Indian literature. He lives in Landaur, Uttarakhand. So, this is the information about Ruskin Bond. So, my dear students, regarding today's reading session, regarding this lesson, if you are having any doubts, feel free to message me on my WhatsApp number. We will meet in our next session with explanation of lesson number 9, Uncle Ken at the Wheel. In the next video, I am going to explain this lesson, so don't miss it. Okay? So, till next video, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.